Hello again. There can be little doubt that there are more guns floating around in Britain now than at any time since the end of the Second World War. It is common to see police officers carrying carbines and pistols at airports or railway stations, or even just in the street. And of course, many criminals own weapons. Terrorists have access to firearms too. The only people whose ability to own guns has been restricted to the point where it's almost impossible to obtain one are, of course, law-abiding and respectable folk. It's not so long ago that anybody could walk into a gun shop and buy a 12-bore shotgun and a box of ammunition and not even need to give an address or show identification. Until 1968, one didn't need a firearms certificate to own shotguns. At that time, the use of guns in crimes was almost unknown in this country. One certainly never saw a policeman with a gun, ever. The occasional use of the things by criminals was extraordinarily rare, so rare that we can remember all the cases where it happened. For example, George Cornell in Bethnal Green, who was shot by Ronnie Gray, and of course Harry Roberts and the murder of the three policemen in Braybrook Street. Normal people at that time had far more to do with guns than criminals. There were shooting clubs, ranges, and, of course, cadets as young as 13 or 14 were able to fire rifles routinely. The secondary school I attended, Ilford County High for Boys in Barkingside, actually had its own range in a Nissen hut and an arsenal next to the secretary's office. This contained not only 22 and 303 rifles, but also, almost incredibly, submachine guns, Sten guns from the Second World War. The arsenal, the keys to it, were kept by sixth formers. Just imagine that, 18-year-old boys who had access to submachine guns. There was no danger of them ever being used for criminal activity. Now there are no weapons at all in the hands of ordinary people, but plenty floating around among gangsters. When the police carried out raids ahead of the Notting Hill Carnival recently, they seized 11 firearms. If civil unrest became serious, law-abiding people are likely to be the only unarmed group, which is not altogether a satisfactory state of affairs. I'm not suggesting it would be a good thing to have a load of preppers and survivalists armed to the teeth, but there is a case to be made for allowing responsible people without a criminal record to own pistols for their own defence. The more dangerous our society becomes, and the more that the established order crumbles away, the more vulnerable those of us who just wish to be left alone and able to protect our families feel.